Welcome to episode number 2 of the graduate series. Now, in the first video, we've highlighted how job experience can become a barrier for graduates or unemployed graduates to land a permanent job. Because a lot of the entry-level jobs require a year or two of experience for you to be considered for the job. Now, the fact is, graduates don't have the experience and it becomes a problem, right? So in this video, we're going to be sharing some tools that you can use in order to gain the necessary experience. Now, we're going to be talking about 3 things in particular here. We're going to be talking about freelancing, internship, and graduate programs. How can you utilize these tools in order to get the experience that is required as a graduate? We'll be talking about what they are, what are the advantages and disadvantages of these 3, and at the end of the video, I will be sharing my thoughts on what I think is the best strategy that a graduate can employ in order to gain the experience. My name is Mkolisi and welcome to 360 Careers. Now, just to tell you a bit about myself. So, I've been working in corporate for over 10 years now, and the last 3 to 4 years of those I've been working as a hiring manager. So in these videos, I'll be sharing some of my experiences and the things that I've learned in my career. And I'll also be sharing some of the things that I've learned from working with many other professionals. So if you haven't already, guys, please subscribe in order to support the channel, like this video, and most importantly, please share this video with someone who might need this information. There might be, a friend or someone that you know who's a graduate who is struggling to find a job. Now, first up, let's talk about freelancing. So freelancing for me is one of the nicest way of gaining experience. It's not easy, but if you get it right, it really could be something that is, beneficial, and it could end up working out very well, even better than a permanent job, right? Now, the first thing that I like about freelancing is that the barriers for entry are very low. So normally there's no experience that is required. But what is required to become a freelancer is you need to have a marketable skill or marketable skills, right? Because a lot of, I'll share some of the links to these freelance website that you can create a profile and actually become a freelancer. But the first thing that you need to do is that you need to look at the skills that you have, whether these skills are self-taught or these are some of the skills that you've learned throughout a course, a degree, a diploma, or something like that. But you need to identify some of these skills that you can, create a profile as a freelancer and offer services using those skills to, companies or individuals that might need to acquire your services, right? So freelancing is a very low barrier entry for someone who's a graduate to gain the experience. So, like I said, the first thing that you need to look at is look at your marketable skills. For instance, like someone who's in tech could maybe they're able to build websites or able to, create a profile as a programmer and actually get gigs for programming. Someone who's a creative, who's good at writing can actually do copywriting, for an example, or even do creative writing. Someone who's a designer can, create logos or, design, graphic designs and pamphlets, and, someone who's an animator can create animation. So there's a whole lot of skills that you can use that you already have or that you've learned or that you can learn in order for you to become a freelancer. But what's important about freelancing is that you need to identify where you're going with your career, right? If you are trying to build experience in a certain field, make sure that at least the skills that you are using as a freelancer are relevant to the career that you're trying to build and the experience that you're trying to acquire, okay? So a few of these websites are, Fiverr, freelancer.com, Upwork, and People Per Hour. So these are the top 4 freelance websites that I've done research on, and I know that they are good. And these are the ones that someone who's a graduate can go straight ahead, create a profile, and utilize some of the skills that they have in order to gain the experience. Now, what are the advantages? So I've actually highlighted the first advantage, which is that there's no experience required. What's required are the skills that you have, because the other advantage is that it will give you the opportunity to work on real life problems for companies. I myself have used, for an example, a lot of freelancers in Fiverr to create logos for some of my companies or my projects, to run some social media campaigns, or help me out with social managing my social media accounts and all sorts of things, right? So I've used them. You can work from anywhere as long as you have a laptop and you have Wi-Fi connectivity. You can work from anywhere. You can work your own hours as well. The other advantage is that freelancing can actually lead to even better pay than a permanent job. You do get people that are professional freelancers because throughout the years they've actually built a clientele of companies and professionals that are using them on a regular basis as freelancers, and they end up being paid way more than what they could earn as a permanent employee. And the other thing is that the more experience you have as a freelancer, the more premium you can charge. So I highly recommend that you consider freelancing. The other advantage is that it allows you to still be looking for a permanent job, but while you are actually like getting gigs and actually building and gaining the experience at the same time. There are advantages though. So the advantages will be that you would need a laptop and Wi-Fi. So for some people that might be a problem because maybe they might not have their own personal laptop, and it might be difficult to acquire Wi-Fi and connectivity issues, right? So that can become a problem for some people. The other one is like you need starting from a blank profile as a freelancer. You don't have any reviews because a lot of them you rely on people giving you reviews so that people that are searching are able to then select you as a freelancer of choice. So that could be difficult to get like the first few clients. The other disadvantage is that obviously you will be getting fluctuating income because it's not a steady income. It will depend on how many gigs you get and how much time you have in order to deliver on the gigs that you get as a freelancer. So highly recommended. The second thing that as a graduate that you can utilize to get experience is internships. Now, internships are a great learning opportunities. They are not a job, they're a great learning opportunity because they offer you the foundation and the experience that you need, and the exposure that you need. But you have to do research when it comes to internships because a lot of companies, I find that they've used internships in a wrong way because they would get people or graduates to work internships with no pay, and after the internship program, and they wouldn't hire them, right? So it's very important to look for a good company that will build you, that you will build the necessary experience and the network that you might need in order to succeed. So it's mostly just to gain the experience and the exposure. This is what internships are for. Advantages with internships is that, like I said, they allow you to build the network because once you become an intern in a company, you now have access to people and leaders that you are able to connect with, and you can build rapport with. And some of these leaders, if you do a great work, you end up getting like job opportunities through internship, right? But you really need to prove yourself, hard work, and showcase your skills and learn as much as you can. Right? So it's another way of gaining the experience. The disadvantages, like I said, one of them is low pay because some companies would offer you very low stipend or even no pay because it's, like I said, it's mostly to gain experience. The other disadvantage is that it's very hard because there's no motivation in a sense that there's a job security at the end of the internship. So it could be very hard to get through like a 6 months or 1 year internship, right? So it could be very challenging. So the last one that I want us to talk about is graduate programs. Now, graduate programs for me, by far the best, right? And I have reasons for saying that. It's because graduate programs are actually tailored to ease graduates into a working environment, right? These are specifically designed programs for graduates, right? So find a good company that offer a graduate program in order to get that opportunity, right? Because there's a lot of advantages when it comes to graduate programs. Number one is that better pay. Like graduate programs, or the ones that I know from good companies, the starting salary is very, very good, especially as a graduate. I think it's a very, very good kickstarter for your career. The second thing is that it comes with a job security, right? Because at the end of the graduate program, I think most of them it's the first year, then it's a graduate program, but at the end of the first year, you do get a job, right? It's not that at the end of the year they let you go. There's a guaranteed job employment, so that's very, very, very advantageous to opt for a graduate program. It's a great career jumpstart because it's sort of like, it offers a tailored program whereby you get connected to a lot of other graduates, right? So for instance, I started as a consultant. So I started as a consultant, and jumping from being a student to working full time, it's very, very difficult. And for me, it was difficult because, it was very difficult for me to get used to working full time. And I've always felt like I wasn't doing enough. I always felt like I wasn't, knowing a lot of things that people with experience knew. So I felt inadequate in my job, and it really, really took a long time for me, to get used to it and, and get better at what I do. So a graduate program will actually offer you that community of other graduates whereby, you're able to like share some of your experiences and, have people that are going to work that are going to walk that journey with you, as, someone who's starting in a work environment. So it's a very, very good. The only disadvantage that I would say with the graduate program is that you need to apply early. So as someone who's doing a final year, you need to apply mid-year. So a lot of companies from June, July, they start doing interviews for their graduate program for the following year. Now, if you miss that period, then it becomes very difficult for you because you have to wait for the next year. The other one is that it's competitive. So obviously, like top students and people that are looking for good companies, a lot of them apply for graduate programs, and based on the interviews and the exercises that you need to do in order to qualify to get that graduate spot. So there's a bit of competition as well from other graduates. So according to me, I think you should really, really prioritize getting a graduate program, and if that doesn't work, then there's other options. So guys, in conclusion, what I would say is that top priority as a graduate is finding a graduate program because it comes with a lot of benefits. Job security, I've listed all of them. That should be your number one priority. Second priority will be freelancing. Because as you freelancing, you're able to look for a permanent job and apply, but in the meantime, you're getting gigs, you're freelancing, and you're gaining the experience that is needed to get a job. The last thing that I would recommend is internship, because like I said, internships, you really, really need to work hard. But if you don't have a choice in a graduate program, for example, that if you haven't secured one, or it's difficult for you to get gigs in terms of freelancing, so then internship is the last thing that I would say, that then consider interning, but like I said, it comes with a lot of disadvantages. So yeah, so those are my conclusions. Highly recommend graduate program. Guys, so please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like this video if you like the information, and please just share with me your comments in the comment section below what you think and what other topics you would like to hear from this channel, and share this video with someone who might need this information. Very, very important. In the next video, we'll be talking about how to tailor your CV and cover letter as a graduate, because obviously, there's like, oh, I don't have the experience, I only have the degree, and it becomes very difficult to write a CV that is compelling. So stay tuned for the next video on how to tailor your CV and cover letter as a graduate. Until next time, folks, thanks for watching. Highly appreciated. Cheers.